Hi, and welcome to Mr. Garofalo's podcast. In this episode, we're looking at some examples from solving fractional and decimal equations. We're going to look at a few examples that we were unable to get to during class time, and that would be example 8 and example 10. So in example 8, we have the equation x minus 2 over x plus 10 is equal to 3/5. So you might remember from class that this equation is set up as a proportion. It's saying that one fraction is equal to another, or one ratio is equal to another. All proportions have cross products that are equal to one another. So the best method, I think, for solving a problem like this would be to use the cross products and solve for x. The key is to remember that these two expressions, x minus 2 and x plus 10, are what we call binomial expressions. That means there's two terms. So when we multiply them by some other number, we have to distribute. So x minus 2 is going to be multiplied by 5, and x plus 10 will be multiplied by 3. When we distribute those values, we get 5x minus 10 is equal to 3x plus 30. Now this becomes a pretty simple problem. This is just an equation with variables on both sides, and you learned how to do this in 7th grade. So I'm going to leave you at that step for this problem, and you should be okay. Let's look at example 10. In example 10, we have a fraction that needs to be distributed to a set of parentheses. 1/2 times x plus 8, and then the right side of the equation is 13 minus x. Now, you could convert 1/2 to a decimal. It would be 0.5. But 1/2 to me isn't too bad a fraction to work with. It shouldn't be too scary. It's one we come across very often. So I'm going to stick with this as a fraction, 1/2. And the left side of the equation would be 1/2 x plus 4. Now I want to get on my variables on the same side of the equal sign. So I'm going to add x to both sides, and these will cancel out. 1/2 x plus x leaves me with 1.5 x. So I have 1.5 x plus 4 equals 13. Now again, at this point, if you feel comfortable, you could make this 1.5. Again, I'm going to leave it as 1.5. I want to isolate it, so I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. And I'm going to get 1.5 x is equal to 9. Now at this point, I want to multiply by the reciprocal. Remember, we talked about when you're dividing by a fraction here, you're going to multiply by its reciprocal. But I have it as a mixed number right now. Mixed numbers don't really have a reciprocal. We need an improper fraction or a common fraction to get a reciprocal. So you may remember from 6th grade, the way to turn a mixed number into a improper fraction is to take the denominator, multiply it by the whole number value, so 2 times 1, and then add the numerator. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. And keep the same denominator. So 1.5 is the same as 3/2. Now I want to divide by 3/2, which is the same as multiplying it by its reciprocal, 2/3. Remember, these are multiplicative inverses. Anytime we multiply multiplicative inverses, we get 1. So we're left with 1x on this side of the equation. Over here, I'm going to have 9 times 2, which is 18. And if you want to put 9/1, you can. 1 times 3 would be 3. And 18/3 is 6. So our solution to this equation is 6. I hope this is helpful for you, and you can refer back to it as you work through your homework. See you in class.